majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your success. The times where people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing, those are the times where you fail.
Who are not in the Hollywood world, what is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30-plus year career in Hollywood. And an executive producer is below a producer in the film world.
Blake Lively's sudden departure from the country has ignited intense speculation, sending shockwaves through an industry already entangled in controversy. For months, tensions between Blake and director Justin Baldoni simmered behind the scenes, fueled by whispers, leaked messages, and shifting public sentiment. Yet nothing could have braced fans or insiders for the stunning moment when Blake abruptly packed her bags and left the country, coinciding with the very day Justin unveiled a new set of damning revelations. In an age where rumors spread faster than official statements, the timing of her exit has only intensified the frenzy. Was she avoiding accountability, protecting her privacy, or both? The origins of this drama trace back to the earliest stages of a film project helmed by Justin Baldoni, one that had generated significant anticipation given his reputation for crafting poignant, emotionally resonant stories. Blake's casting appeared to be a seamless choice. She had long been recognized for her refined performances and ability to captivate audiences. At first, reports from the set painted a picture of harmony, with Justin commending her enthusiasm and Blake playfully expressing how rewarding it felt to be part of such a meaningful adaptation. At the time, there was little indication of trouble. Yet, as filming progressed, murmurs began to surface. Crew members noted that Blake, usually known for her easygoing demeanor, seemed tense in her interactions with Justin, who was not only directing, but had also co-written the screenplay and was set to star. Some speculated whether the overlap of roles left her feeling creatively constrained, given her history of having more input. Over the course of several weeks, subtle shifts in her behavior became noticeable. She occasionally made lukewarm comments about the intensity of Justin's vision, or exchanged fleeting glances when he received praise. In moments like these, having a distraction can be valuable, which is why I want to personally thank Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Thank you for giving us that distraction. I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful, and I think we're good. At first, fans brushed off such reports as insignificant, just the natural fallout of creative differences on a high-pressure set. The tension might have remained behind the scenes, if not for a sudden wave of negative press painting Blake as distant and difficult. She quickly pushed back with a bold assertion. Justin was leveraging his directorial influence to shape the narrative, undermining her public image to solidify control over creative decisions. In an era increasingly aware of media spin, her claims struck a chord with many. Blake described a work environment where her concerns were dismissed, portraying Justin as prioritizing his own vision while sidelining her input. For a time, public sentiment leaned in her favor. Many observers saw her frustrations as emblematic of broader industry dynamics, where male directors sometimes overshadow female leads. That narrative shifted when Justin responded with lengthy, unredacted text logs. Rather than dismissing or ignoring Blake, the messages revealed him frequently seeking her input on changes and actively requesting her feedback. Adjusting schedules to accommodate her preferences, a different picture emerged, one of a director striving for collaboration, yet increasingly perplexed by her abrupt hostility. Within the logs, fans also picked up on references suggesting that Blake had hinted at using her considerable influence and that of her widely respected husband, Ryan Reynolds, if Justin didn't align with her vision. After reviewing these exchanges, many onlookers began to reconsider whether the earlier reports had been deliberately shaped to cast Justin as a more controlling figure than he truly was. As tensions between Blake and Justin escalated, attention started to shift. Some observers speculated about Ryan's possible involvement, given how frequently Blake's messages referred to him as one of her dragons. Though never explicitly defined, the term suggested she had influential allies she could call upon for support in conflicts. Speculation ran rampant. Had Ryan quietly played a role in shaping the narrative against Justin? Or at the very least, had he used his comedic star power to subtly steer public perception? As the internet speculated about Ryan's possible involvement, the drama's focus abruptly swung back to Blake when her own attorney unexpectedly resigned, accompanied by a cryptic statement suggesting her account didn't fully align with documented facts. For those outside the Hollywood industry, you might wonder, what's wrong with her taking over the film? But in my 30-plus years in Hollywood, I've never seen anything like this. An executive producer holds a position below a producer in the film world. She signed on as an executive producer, and that's it. As the film progressed, she decided she wanted to be a producer. She began making edits. She wanted to join the editing team, but there were already people, actual professionals, who had been hired for that job. Within the industry, this public resignation was seen as extraordinary. Hollywood attorneys typically work behind the scenes to manage disputes, not openly cast doubt on their clients' narratives. That revelation alone would have been enough to dominate headlines. But then Justin made good on his promise to release additional context if Blake continued portraying him as dismissive or manipulative. True to his word, Justin released additional text messages, what he referred to as new receipts, containing extended conversations. These documents, more extensive and detailed than before, appeared to chronicle the full timeline of their interactions, from the earliest stages of pre-production to the final days of filming. Within them, readers saw not only that Justin had been mindful and communicative, but that he had repeatedly attempted to ease tensions with Blake through direct conversations, encouraging her to voice any concerns. Several exchanges showed him apologizing for any unintended missteps, adjusting schedules to accommodate her, and reaffirming his desire for her creative input. According to multiple staff members who later spoke anonymously, the work environment appeared collaborative for months, at least from the director's perspective. What truly sent shockwaves through the industry was the revelation of certain messages Blake had sent to confidants, seemingly discussing ways to highlight perceived flaws in Justin's leadership if it aligned with her broader goals. Specifically, these messages suggested she had considered timing discussions about postpartum anxieties or production safety concerns to coincide with major promotional moments for the film, potentially overshadowing the positive momentum Justin had been working to build. While no direct mention of Ryan's involvement appeared in this batch of leaked messages, the recurring references to My Circle and her dragons suggested Blake felt assured she could rally outside support to reinforce her claims. Shortly after these new receipts went public, Blake vanished. Reports surfaced that she had abruptly canceled multiple engagements without explanation, including a key promotional appearance for a separate project. Staff at her management company declined to comment, further fueling speculation. Within hours, leaked flight records indicated she had boarded a private jet with minimal luggage and only a small entourage. Soon after, photos emerged of her in an airport lounge, wearing dark sunglasses and a hat pulled low. Observers described her as visibly tense, avoiding her usual wave or lighthearted exchanges that typically accompanied her public airport appearances. Speculation ran wild. Was Blake escaping potential legal fallout from the revelations, or was she simply overwhelmed, seeking refuge from a public crisis that now threatened to consume her? Public opinion fractured. Some fans sympathized, suggesting that even if the new evidence raised doubts about her claims, the sheer weight of the negative attention could be unbearable. Others saw her sudden departure as suspicious. Several observers noted that if Blake was certain of her position, a stronger approach would have been to confront Justin's receipts head-on rather than disappear just as the controversy reached its peak. Justin Baldoni's response to her sudden departure was measured yet deliberate. He reaffirmed that his primary goal had always been to safeguard the film's creative integrity and defend his professional reputation. Publicly, he expressed regret that the situation had spiraled to the point where Blake felt compelled to leave. At the same time, Justin acknowledged that if the newly released messages were indeed accurate, they left little doubt about the true source of the negative spin. Meanwhile, the impact on Ryan Reynolds became increasingly difficult to ignore. Already rumored to have played a behind-the-scenes role in Blake's efforts to discredit Justin, he now faced the repercussions of her sudden departure. Online speculation swirled. Would Ryan follow her abroad, or would he stay behind to manage the fallout? Rumors suggested he was scrambling, making urgent calls to PR and legal advisors in a bid to contain any potential career damage. In what could be a comedian's worst nightmare, the headlines shifted away from playful banter and upcoming projects, instead zeroing in on damning excerpts from text exchanges and speculation about whether Ryan had played a role in Blake's behind-the-scenes maneuvers. In the fallout, TJ Miller, the actor who had previously surfaced with allegations hinting at Ryan's deeper involvement, took a step back, at least for the time being. He held off on releasing any additional claims about Ryan or Blake, telling interviewers that he preferred to let each new wave of evidence speak for itself. While he acknowledged feeling vindicated, given that many had initially questioned his motives, Justin's newly revealed receipts appeared to validate key aspects of TJ's account, particularly those regarding coordinated media strategies and well-timed leaks seemingly aimed at undermining the film from within. My money is on Blake Lively being wrong. Alright, you guys, today is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni Day. Finally, I've been teasing this all week, and let me just say to all the women watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever go full Amber Heard. Industry insiders were stunned by the sheer scale of the fallout. Blake and Ryan, long admired for their polished public image and effortless comedic chemistry, now found themselves entangled in a controversy that jeopardized not just one production, but also their larger brand. Some producers quietly suggested they were reconsidering future collaborations with the couple. Public perception matters, one anonymous executive noted. When When two A-listers are suspected of secretly working to discredit a director, studios get nervous. Projects rely on trust, and when an actor's off-screen behavior starts to seem too unpredictable, collaborations become a risky gamble. Fans, too, grappled with a sense of disillusionment. Social media conversations turned into heated debates. Some saw the newly released messages as undeniable evidence of Blake's manipulations, while others argued that crucial context was still missing. Some speculated that Blake's sudden departure was purely an act of emotional self-preservation after feeling alienated. Others saw it as a strategic move, an attempt to evade scrutiny or sidestep potential legal consequences if Justin or others pursued defamation claims. Conspiracy theories ran wild, ranging from she's secretly regrouping with Ryan in a remote location to she's plotting a tell-all from exile. Though no solid evidence supported the more extreme theories, behind the scenes, staff on Justin's film felt a sense of relief, believing that the truth as they saw it had finally surfaced. Many had grown frustrated watching their hard work on a deeply personal, emotionally resonant adaptation be overshadowed by negative headlines. Some confided that while minor tensions arose on set, hardly unusual in a high-pressure production, nothing justified the media firestorm that erupted once rumors of Justin's supposed inattentiveness began circulating. By releasing the full text exchanges, Justin not only defended his own reputation, but also validated crew members who had quietly stood by him, unsure whether their perspective would be taken seriously if they spoke out. Questions swirled about Blake's whereabouts and how she had left so abruptly. Fan-posted airport sightings on social media placed her in a European city known as a refuge for high-profile figures seeking privacy during times of crisis. At an upscale hotel, a staff member admitted to spotting someone who closely resembled Blake Lively, wearing oversized sunglasses and checking in under a different name. Paparazzi flocked to the area, but she remained elusive, with no confirmed sightings. Speculation over her next move only intensified. If Blake genuinely sought privacy, would she retreat even further into secluded destinations, far from the reach of paparazzi, or was she strategically planning a dramatic return once the controversy died down, armed with a carefully crafted explanation for why Justin's messages allegedly misrepresented her intentions? The unfolding chaos prompted many to reflect on the fragile nature of celebrity status. Just months earlier, Blake had seemed untouchable, celebrated for her sharp wit in interviews, admired for her philanthropic efforts, and praised for her impeccably curated social media presence. Now, that polished image showed undeniable fractures. Blake's sudden departure, coming so soon after Justin's release of new evidence, carried an air of finality, one that eclipsed everything else, from her brand endorsements to speculation about future roles. In Hollywood, reputations can shift with alarming speed, especially when the facade of artistic collaboration unravels to reveal behind-the-scenes maneuvering, calculated leaks, and potential media spin. Meanwhile, Justin seized the moment to reaffirm that the film would move forward as planned, with both completion and distribution remaining on track. Justin refused to let the scandal define the project. In media Q&A sessions, he acknowledged that the controversy surrounding Blake had momentarily eclipsed the production, but maintained that the story at the heart of the adaptation still deserved an audience. Cast members publicly voiced their support, commending Justin's steady leadership and measured approach, offering a stark contrast to the storm of allegations. Some even framed the entire ordeal as a cautionary tale, a reminder to both industry insiders and fans that unchecked star power, when wielded strategically, could risk overshadowing authentic creative work. Where this leaves Blake remains uncertain. If her plan was to wait out the storm from a distance until public scrutiny faded, she may find that the conversation lingers longer than expected. Justin's latest disclosures have reignited the controversy, fueling fresh coverage that frames her departure as a direct response to damaging revelations she was unable or unwilling to counter. Some analysts speculate that in a few months, she might attempt a carefully orchestrated PR comeback, offering either contrition or context to reframe the disputed messages. Others believe she may choose to remain out of the spotlight indefinitely, shifting focus to personal matters until Hollywood moves on to its next high-profile scandal. Observers also questioned what Ryan's next move would be. With Blake presumably laying low overseas, far from the paparazzi's reach, would he remain in the US to manage the fallout alone, or would he join her in a calculated retreat? If he disappeared as well, it could reinforce the perception that their departure was a carefully orchestrated escape from accountability. Already, the press had begun scrutinizing him for his silence, particularly his refusal to address the claims surrounding the dragons Blake allegedly referenced in her messages. Speculation continued to spiral. Was the couple's signature online banter just a polished facade masking more strategic behind-the-scenes maneuvers? As the dust from his initial revelations settled, TJ Miller acknowledged that some of the new receipts aligned with references he had previously heard but had never been able to fully verify. He expressed a degree of relief. Justin's extensive logs had provided the concrete proof TJ had lacked, solidifying allegations that had previously existed only as whispers. TJ emphasized that his intent was never to villainize anyone or stir unnecessary chaos, but rather to bring clarity to a situation clouded by misdirection. In interviews, he expressed some regret that Blake had felt so trapped she chose to leave, but he maintained that the catalyst for her departure was her own actions, not any personal vendetta from him or Justin. Industry insiders suggest it may take months, if not years, for the controversy to fade. Hollywood loves a redemption arc, and some believe Blake could eventually stage a comeback if she directly addresses the fallout. Yet the sheer weight of Justin's newly revealed evidence complicates any clear path to public rehabilitation.